You know what, John? Here's one of the things that a lot of people haven't focused on. Where was the tactical plan? Where was the response plans? Where's the crisis management plan for January 6th, right? For what was going on the 6th? Right. Where was that plan? I know, before New Year's Eve in New York City, the police commissioner has to brief the mayor on everything and anything that could happen, would happen, should happen on New Year's Eve in New York City. They should have had the same kind of plan for January 6th.
Right. If the FBI can forward deploy sharpshooters to Quantico ahead of the event, why were there not extra police officers there at those stanchions and those railings because they were overrun? We'll set that aside, Bernie, because I want to continue to talk about police aside from Washington, D.C. Again, in 2021, we saw a record number of police officers die or be killed in the line of duty. A lot of those fatalities due to COVID-19. But again, the number of officers who met a violent end also reached a new high. We're seeing one of the most recent tragic cases, an officer who died outside of Chicago on the screen here. But I want to focus on what's happening in New York City and the new district attorney there, Alvin Bragg. He's not going to seek prison sentences for most crimes now. He's also going to downgrade felony charges and armed robberies and drug dealing. That's only going to make this situation worse. It's going to make the streets more dangerous for police officers.
This is a guy that was given $1 million campaign contribution and is going to carry out the same policies that's been carried out in Philadelphia, Chicago, San Francisco, Los Angeles. And it's going to endanger the men and women in the New York City Police Department and the communities in New York City.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to do. And somebody needs to stop it.
If the district attorney does not have the back of the police chief and the police officers out on the streets, then you do not have a criminal justice system that even resembles anything that's going to benefit a community. And that's what it looks like we're seeing in New York develop. Going back to what we were talking about just a second ago, in Bradley, Illinois, prosecutors say Marlene Ritmanek, the officer who was shot and killed there, the last moments were spent pleading for her own life. Her own service weapon was taken from her and used to execute her. Bernie, this is hard to talk about. I know a lot of people don't want to hear this, but this is what it's like for police officers on the streets of a town like Bradley, Illinois, today in 2021.
Yeah, you know what, John? That's what it's like in Bradley, Illinois. But you know what? In New York City, it's 10 times worse. Mm-hmm. And anytime you have a prosecutor that's going to embolden the bad guys, that's not going to lock up the bad guys, that's going to send a message to the thugs that I've got your back, you know what? We have major problems. And I think it's going to be up to the new mayor, Eric Adams, to deal with the prosecutor, put him on notice. He can't be supporting the thugs and villainizing the police. And that's what this guy's going to do if somebody doesn't take charge and put him in his place.
Bernie Kerik for us. Great to talk to you, Bernie, as always. Thanks so much.
You just watched Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news channel, now in more than 70 million homes. You can get Newsmax TV on your cable system or check your cable guide. And if your system doesn't carry Newsmax, call them, tell them you want Newsmax TV, because we're real news for real people.